Last video we left the same spot. Head hasn't moved, no camera trickery. I have a bunch of plumbing to set up. Behind here, behind the head, a lot of electrical connectors under here to hook up. And then we're going to slowly lower it down onto the pins on the block. We've got our new box of head bolts, HUD studs, whatever you want to call them, over there. We'll get those installed and start putting this thing back together. Now, if you haven't seen the rest of the series, there's a link up here somewhere for, well, this. But in short, there's a car I bought, very inexpensive, relatively, I guess, to learn for myself more engine work. I'm not an engine guy. After this, I'm still not an engine guy. But it was not running due to a mentioned timing issue. And getting in here, I thought it was just the belt had slipped or broken. I didn't see any catastrophic damage to any of the cylinders. And, well, I don't know. The head itself, the cam, the timing chain slipped, something slipped and caused the two cams to be 180 degrees off from where they should be, which caused cylinder 3 to have a few little witness marks on the top of the cylinder, the top of the piston, with a few little nicks. Nothing catastrophic, nothing broke off, nothing horrible happened, but it could have. So I'm still kind of confused as to why this happened. Nothing is broken except the bearing journals on both cams were really deformed, looked like they were ran dry. Do we have oil starvation from sludge buildup? Poor maintenance? We don't know. The Carfax said it had routine maintenance, and I went back and looked through the Carfax again for a fourth or fifth time, and it looked like a lot of the things were standard checkups. I didn't see a ton of indicated oil changes I would expect to see coming through on a Carfax, but maybe they went to a shop that was not on the Carfax network. Maybe they did it at home and didn't have a way to report that. Or maybe they just went by the book for every 10,000 miles, which we've gone over before is not good. Anyways, I'm just gonna start putting this back together. You're probably gonna see a lot of my good side. There's not a really good place to put the camera. So I'm trying to move you a little bit, but if you can't see, sorry, I'll just kind of skip ahead to where we're making some actual progress. So try and move you over here, and we'll get rolling. All right, I've got one plug left. Goes on one of the actuators for the intake on the back side of the engine. I've got 2 coolant hoses down there and 2 grounds to put on, plus a sensor or a plug for the sensor on the cam solenoid. And I think this side is buttoned up. I have a few bolts need to go in under the intake. Need to go back and look at my pictures. It's just a bracket on the block that holds up the intake. So we got to put that on. And then the driver side of things should be pretty well done. But I'm going to go ahead and get that those few items on the back, plumbing and electrical hooked up, so I can go ahead and lower the intake down onto the block. I've got pretty much, I think, everything over here done. So let's hope I didn't miss anything. Well, that one coolant fitting is being a little finicky. It's kind of wiggling around on the head. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drop the head down, get it in place, put our head bolts in, and hopefully I've gotten everything. I think I've gotten, there's one plug over here. I've still got to figure out where it goes. But I've got my borescope camera, so let me quick grab that. I think it goes on the back of this intake thingamajiggy. Let's see, that's there. If I were a random electrical plug, where would I go? Aha, there it is, backside of this intake control thing. That's what I thought. Just had to figure out where exactly it went. Oh, hey, there's still a coolant hose back here I forgot about, so let me get him hooked up. That would be a bad thing to forget about. Nothing like spraying coolant all over the place, I guess. That'd be a bad day. Gotta get you on because there's so much other stuff in the way. I think that was one of those things I took off as I started to heft everything up. All right, you're on. Plug you in. Back here somewhere. Yeah, you can't see, I can't see. Nobody can see it. What a thing I'm doing. But I can feel where it goes, I think. No. I can't even feel it anymore. So let me grab my camera, see if I can stick you in the hole. So I can see what the heck's going on. Easier said than done. Now, where is that plug? Back here somewhere. I saw it. Where'd it go? Let me find it because this is a waste of your time. Well, as luck would have it, 5 seconds after I turned off the camera, I found where it went. I removed a few other cords down here so they fit in where they should go. Go ahead and get this coolant pipe put in, get the clamp on it, and I got a tool for that now. Yeah, hopefully far less frustrating with one of these guys here. Yeah, hopefully that'll make life easier. Again, you can't really see anything. I can kind of see what I'm doing, but again, not too well. Basically, this slides over where you normally put your pliers or channel lock, and it should pinch that clamp. And a little easier to maneuver position than with pliers. So let's see what happens. Holy cow! Look at that. Oh yeah. Release. Huh. That was far less frustrating. I think when I took this off, it took me about 5 or 10 minutes to wiggle with the big vice grips channel lock in there to get that pipe clamp off and hose clamp off. And while this was 30 seconds, I'm okay with that. So next thing I'm going to do here is go ahead and set the head down on the block. My head gasket is in where it should be. I'm just going to confirm that with my scope. Yep, that looks good. Everything over here looks like it should. Alignment pins, yep, okay. So, grab my thing here and slowly loosen it. It should be pretty well positioned on top of it, so we'll see how this goes. slow. Okay. Pressure is off of it. It's not quite lined up, but I can at least get this big unruly thing out of the way. All right, that's off. Let's take our engine stand out of the way. That is a good thing to see. So, get the stand out of the way. This can go back down to the shop. Well, that's pretty exciting, and now I can get this head on where it needs to be. Where'd my camera go? Here it is. Okay, you're there. Get some of these wires out of the way. And then back here. Ugh, yep, you're not in the right spot. There we go. Heard it thud in place. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. I like seeing that. Oh, let's see. Got a few of these wiring harnesses we can maybe start tucking back where they should go. We've got a harness here. You're on. I got this back on. Fuel connector was broken, so I've got a zip tie on that. This cam sensor clip was broken, so there's a zip tie on that. I don't know. Over time, people I'm sure have been in here. But sensors, you don't want those plugs coming off. Head is on. I've got to brake for a minute, but when I come back, we're going to get these head bolts put in, torqued down, finish our coolant hose in the back. We've got our grounds to hook up. Our turbo gets hooked back up, our turbo studs to the cat and back. Rest of our plumbing and pipes up here. Then of course we have our timing belt and our serpentine belt to put back on. So we are getting close. It seems like a lot of stuff, but it's, well, a lot of stuff, but it's going together about as well as I guess I could have expected. So let me work on a couple of things. Like I said, the ground, the plumbing on the back you can't see. Then we'll come back for the rest of the stuff up here that you can see. We are back. It's the next day for me. Taco Tuesday was, well, I had tacos and then I took a nap. But we're going to work on getting this head bolted down today. I've got a brand new set of head bolts from L-Ring. Boom. I'm going to put a little dot of oil on the threads and some here at the head. These are torqued to yield. So we drop them in. We hand tighten them. We take our torque wrench, set it to 40 Newton meters, whatever that is in foot pounds. I'll figure that out because America. And yep, I said it. And then we go 90 degrees and then 90 degrees again. They did include a nice diagram of the order in which the bolts go in. If you can see that, there we go. So there's our specs. Pretty easy. So I'm going to take some of my favorite assembly lube, drop a little on the thread and a little on the head, drop it in the hole, and move on to the next one. You repeat this process for all of them. Okay, these are all in. I'm going to run them down by hand. 40 Newton meters is 29.5 foot-pounds for those keeping track. sure a lot easier to get those in when the cams are in the right place. Let me grab my torque wrench and we'll run these down to 29.5 foot-pounds. 29.5, okay. Now, if you remember, we've got our diagram. Order, sure. So I'm just gonna follow the directions for once in my life. And pretty much you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sort of a spiral star thing. There's our 40. Okay, there's our 40 Newton meters or 29.5 foot-pounds. I'm gonna grab my bar and we do, like I said, 90 degrees and then 90 degrees once again. Just to be very simple, I'm gonna start in the 12 o'clock position. And I'm gonna do 45 or 90, yep, that's 90. Don't need to go 180 yet. $90. All right, there's my first 90. I'm gonna find some gloves because I have a feeling if that slips, it's gonna be the end of my knuckles. And then I'd have a bad day. All right, one more round of 90 degrees in that same pattern. Okay, well, none of the righty-tighties became loosey-goosey. So that's a bonus. That's a step in the right direction. So now that we have that done, I'm gonna just continue on. The rest of this stuff is buttoning up the valve cover, the last few electrical connectors, that water connection on the back, the turbo, the exhaust. Let me show you the mess down here real quick for the turbo and exhaust, because you're really not going to see me be able to put it back together. So the exhaust, this whole assembly and turbo, get back up here. I have a new manifold gasket to put in. The turbo exhaust whole system was removed from the cat, so that also gets put back together. We have, again, our water pump we put in, cooler line here, but down here, these are those turbo lines that I had to disconnect. There's one that goes here, of course, way down here, another one here, and then there's some bracketry that holds on the side of the block and the bottom of the exhaust setup. So that is where that is. So I'm gonna work on, blind, getting the rest of this stuff buttoned up until we come back and put on our front end assembly here, the hoses, last few hoses, the belts, timing chain cover, and put the bumper back on. And that should hopefully give us the ability to turn this thing over and it works. That's my hope, or else all this has just kind of been a waste. Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in this one right now, quit while I'm ahead, and there's still plenty more to do, but this video is gonna end up getting quite long, and I don't think anybody wants to sit through a 45-minute video. We're probably already close to there. So, till the next video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to catch the next episode of this coming out, and hopefully it's gonna run for us. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.